The following is a conversation I had with Kyle Steffens, husband, father, race car driver. Kyle has won over 300 checkered flag victories in feature races, most of which earned on the best known dirt oval tracks across the Midwest. Kyle has a diverse background, having raced in over 20 different types of race cars, from quarter midgets to NASCAR. I first met Kyle about a decade ago. We've each grown quite a lot since meeting, and our lives, though very different in a variety of ways, I feel travel together along a similar path. We're each dedicated fathers of two. We're both 37 years old. And we also each share that same insatiable appetite for adventure, success in the endeavors we pursue, and a strong passion for wanting to be remembered as a winner in life. Kyle's story, I feel, is only just beginning, and the future of his race team is very bright, though new challenges always loom around every corner. A true Warlock, as Kyle most certainly is, will continue to press forward and make his way to success. As a personal fan myself of Kyle and his racing, I'm excited to share our conversation with you, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Please support my content by subscribing to this YouTube channel and by visiting my one and only sponsor, Rise and Grind Coffee Company. Their link can be found in the video description. Thank you. That's all part of the business, right?
Part of the plan, dude. I had to get rid of some toxins, and yeah, that's just where it's at.
Dude, actually, that was one of the first things I wanted to talk about with you. Is I didn't know you had to get rid of a crew chief, and that you actually you're looking for a new crew chief now.
Yeah, I'm looking for some crew help, and my guys that are helping me were great guys. Just really wasn't like meshing well, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Dude, yeah. Energy's everything. You know that.
Yeah, dude. The energy's a big deal, and yeah, I just need to have good energy around me.
For sure, dude. I mean, that alone has just always boggled my mind about racing in general. Is like how you can manage to keep the team together when it's just like, I mean, you're getting the spotlight and you're getting a lot of the glory, and I'm sure there's got to be a little bit of that, like, hey, I mean, if you're along for the ride on my team, you got to be a team player, and you're going to be kind of in the behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, these guys, can you hear me okay? Not too bad echo? All right, cool.
No, dude.
Yeah, these guys are dedicated, and the people that have helped me over the years, like, I appreciate them so much. But I just, like, I need to have good, clean energy and people around me that support what's going on. And like, from my home life to this, it's just everything goes in together, as you know. Like, it's a synergy that all comes together. And without that, you cannot do it. And so I'm trying to kind of start fresh for the new year and try to hit the ground running, and trying to keep my kids racing, trying to keep the wife happy, trying to keep friends happy. It's a balance, dude. Tough. And then trying to add your health in there with trying to run a business and everything else is super difficult.
Yeah, so, dude, that's a lot.
It's
go back
tough,
to that
man.
First thing you said though. When you need the support, and you need the support, we'll emphasize that need, especially from the family. You've been pretty lucky, with, and maybe that's not the right word, but your family's got a lot of support for you. And tell me about your relationship with your dad, most importantly. Like,
yeah.
I know we've been friends for a long time, and we've worked out together. We've shared a lot of stuff, but I don't necessarily know how big of an impact he's been on you. And now, like you said, with your own sons,
I bet that's pretty cool. So talk a little bit about that and more in terms of racing too, and how that's kind of like the family biz.
For sure. Yeah. So like it all kind of goes together with our logistics business. We ship everything and anything from like racing stuff to games and you name it. And like the racing side, I kind of own, or like I manage that portion. And then with me racing cars, kind of works as a marketing tool for the company. So like I'm out last year, I traveled and I raced regionally. For a long time, I was a local hero. So last year I said, I'm going to go out on the road. I'm going to do this. And I got my ass kicked. You know, I went out with guys that are professionals, guys that do it for a living, guys that live on the road and race. And like, I was a top 5, top 2 guy. But man, at first it just kicked my ass. And then like trying to balance that work life, home and all that. And like, it's really tough. But like going back to my dad's the biggest supporter of all this, my mom and dad. They own the business. They own the majority of the racing equipment. We had kind of parted ways for a few years. I was younger and I was ignorant. And then kind of came back to working for my dad. Yeah, I was just cocky and thought I can do this on my own. No way, dude. I mean, it takes millions of dollars to do this. Even on a local level, after the years add up, it's just ridiculous. You know, from like the tractor trailers to the tires, to the fuel, to the race cars, to everything. It just takes a lot of capital to keep it going. And so with their help, that really kind of helps fuel my passion for it. And then in turn, like you said, with my kids, I'm kind of starting to move into like, kind of like you with your kids, I'm starting to move into like this dad coaching mode to like, all right, like I've raced my whole life. I've accomplished a lot, not as much as I wanted to, but it's okay. So now I'm teaching my oldest son how to race. And he's already winning. So it's crazy
stuff. Hey, tell me a little bit about St. Louis though, in terms of, so if you want to be successful in acting, you go to Hollywood. If you want to be successful in racing, I'm assuming it's not St. Louis, but is St. Louis a hotbed? Is it a cold tub? What's your verdict on St. Louis and racing, dirt racing specifically, obviously?
I'm going to say St. Louis it's a good spot for dirt racing, but Central Illinois, Northern Illinois, Southern Illinois, Indiana are like the primo zone. So the good thing is like we're 3 to 4 hours from all those tracks. There's 40 tracks all around. So like I can hop in my rig and take 5 hours north and go to like one of the best tracks around, Fairbury. And every time they race, it's televised. It pays way better money. The competition there's really good. So I'd say St. Louis used to be like I-55 used to be like the primo spot. Now it's not. It's just okay. Great facility, but the competition is like really spread out all around Illinois. So that's kind of where I've been trying to go. I raced in Indiana last year. We were thinking about going to Florida this winter. That's a long shot right now. It's an expensive trip and doesn't pay very well, so it doesn't really add up. But yeah, I'd say St. Louis is just middle of the road, but as soon as you get across that border into Illinois, it's like a whole different deal for sure.
It's sort of like St. Louis is middle of the road with almost everything. You know, it's so funny you can say that because and it works that way because we're in the middle of the country, and so you know you can get to various things, but we don't really have a hotbed for anything. You know, it's really tough to think about. Like, what would you say St. Louis is known? Rap? You mean it was, but
not even that anymore.
No.
Like I was on Facebook today and I saw Nelly's like old dilapidated mansion. You know, they're like people are posting it. I'm like, what happened to Nelly? Like, where's he at? Where's Chingy? Like, I don't know.
Where'd these guys go to? Which jail are they holed up in right now?
It sucks because like I want to support St. Louis because it's where like we grew up. You know, well, you came from Michigan, but still like majority of your time. I
consider myself a local here by now. You know, I've been here for 17 years and I feel the same thing. You know, you want to draw the attention to what the city has to offer.
Right.
But
for sure.
I mean,
it's tough because like all these guys came from around the country to the dome race and they're like, man, it's dangerous down here. And it is like, I ain't gonna lie. It's sketchy down there for real. Like, is it going to stop me from going there? No, I still go, but it's sketch. You know that. I mean, where we live is kind of sketchy, you know?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you could say that about any area, any big city, you know? Well, to that note, then what, about the dome race? I always know you hype that one up a lot. What is your favorite race? And it doesn't have to be the dome race, obviously, but just it made me think, what is your most favorite race year to year?
I'm going to have to say, my dude canceled his trip, whatever. I'm going to have to say my favorite trip or favorite race right now is called the Prairie Dirt Classic. It's a race. It's the track I called Fairbury. They call it Falls. It's up in Northern Illinois, like an hour south of Chicago. And dude, it packs in like 40,000 people. It's crazy. The place is electric. Like it's insane. Like Kyle Larson, all these big names are there. Like dirt racing their race pays 50,000 to win. Ours pays 10,000 to win. Like, so it's pretty good money. And it's just like those marquee events like that are like what it's about, like going to a race where it's lit up. There's fans everywhere. People are screaming to Warlock and this and that and selling t-shirts and Kyle Larson. Like, that's what it's about to me, is like going to big events now. It's not about the quantity of races anymore. It's about the quality and being at the big events that are on TV to where people across the nation can see you. Like another one, last year, I got to go to Bristol Motor Speedway. Dude, they put dirt on Bristol. We were going 150 mile an hour on that place. Insane. So that was pretty dope. Like just pulling into the place, like coming down across the banking is like, you're like looking down and you're like, holy shit, like we're going to race dirt cars around here. So that was pretty cool. And I don't know if they're going to do it again for our cars this year. It was borderline dangerous. Like you would have wrecked, you just don't know, but it was pretty badass. No doubt. So.
Dude, you just touched on something that I feel like everybody has been talking about lately, is quality over quantity. And it's like, as you plan your next season, I'm sure that's got to be, foremost in mind. Like you just said, it's not about the number of events anymore. It's about, what am I getting out of this? How much meaning are these events bringing to my life? How much, that's what it sounds like to me, is what what you're looking for there.
Absolutely. Because I have so much on my plate, just like you, and like with my kids, and like my time is getting shorter on earth because I'm getting older. My time is getting shorter in a race car because I'm getting older. So I'm like trying to do all these things that I always wanted to do. I'm trying to do things that are adding value to my life, adding value to my son's life, that they can see that dad did this, because like, that's like my biggest fear is like, I don't want my kids to get older. Like, I don't want them to have that dad's like the lame dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that guy that's like over in the couch, just like, oh yeah. Like, no, I want my kids to tell their friends like, dude, my dad was cool as shit. Like, I want to do what he did. So that's kind of like where my path is gone.
Nobody remembers when their dad took them to fast food and played video games with them. Those are the memories we don't remember about our fathers.
No, I don't. We don't play video games. The only video games we play is a racing simulator. That's it.
Right. And I know from, at least a little bit that's far from a video game. That's the real deal there. Hey, you hit on it. What is a warlock?
So like the warlock lifestyle is, what warlock is. The warlock basically is a guy that lives like fierce. He lives wide open. He lives 100 miles per hour all the time. He's going hard AF, and he's living life, like living life good, not holding back. That's a warlock basically. And it's weird because I've gotten this cult following. It all started on a float trip, I think, that you went on with me. And it started
float
with
trip.
Yeah.
At least most of it, I do.
Yeah. And like, it all started with there. And then it kind of tailed into this lifestyle of just like warlock, like just when you're out, you're living life. You're not holding back. You're in that race car and you're going to drive as hard as you can, as best as you can. Like you're going to work as hard as you can. You're living the warlock lifestyle. So it's pretty cool. I've been thinking like I need to make a brand out of it, but I just don't have time for that right now.
What's cool though is I've watched you race, and I love doing that. I try to make it out there a couple times a year.
Yeah, I know you came this year. Yep.
And what you just said about the warlock lifestyle, that's exactly how I see you race. It's like you take it, you don't slow down coming into those corners. You take the move that needs to be, that if it needs to be taken, take it. Yeah. And exactly. I think that philosophy's got to lead to all, most of your success. It's mindset.
Yeah, for sure. It's all mindset. just like when we worked out in your gym or wherever, like it was all about controlling your mind over matter, basically. Like it's all about when you're going into something, or like if I'm in the shop here and I'm working on a car, I'm already thinking while I'm working on that car is how can I make this car better for when it goes on the track, like for next year, or how can I build this new car better so I can beat this other guy and have that advantage. So like it's all a mental game. It's all about being positive. It's all about being hyped up. It's all about having energy. It's all those things. And like sometimes it's hard to stay on that level, you know, like when I'm trying to balance all these things, man, like lately I've been just kind of got in a slump, and I'm like, I got to get out of this slump. I got to stay focused. I got to stay positive. So, and that's what it's all about, having people around you that support you, people that have good energy, that aren't going to talk about you behind your back if something goes wrong. Like, cause man, racing's tough. Like it's easy to wear your heart on your sleeve if you have a bad night. And then if your guys get upset about that and they talk shit about you, it's like, damn, you know? So it's a tough deal for everybody.
That
like
energy level. I mean, if you think about it, the times we've all had no energy at times, or just lack of energy, you can't even think. You can't even formulate a plan. You just want to hold up. You want to couch it. You want to binge on some food or whatever it is. And it's just, without energy, nothing can happen. And you said it, the other people and the people we surround ourselves with, I think that's crucial for our energy. And when you can surround yourself with a brand, a Warlock lifestyle crowd, that's got to help when you come into the race scene like that.
It makes me laugh because it's just cool. Like, we were at that big race this year. We're at Bristol, and people were coming up to the trailer like, "Hey, you're the Warlock?" Like, and I'm like, "What? Like, how do these people even know who I am?" Like it's just crazy. Like, I don't know. And I'm not saying I'm a big deal or anything. I'm just saying that it's really, I think that the positive vibes have shown to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I think
that's
people
contagious. And what you just said earlier was like, I think what's contagious nowadays is the idea of taking life on. Like just going wide open, facing what comes your way, dealing with it and moving forward. And in that Warlock lifestyle, so many people have lost that. We're living in our bubbles. We're living in our fake world. And that message, when you can get out and say, Warlock and everything that it represents, that's just, it's contagious.
It just makes me smile because it's badass.
I agree.
I got people at work that are like, they'll just yell out Warlock in the middle of the day, or like, we got 18 employees here, and they're always like, Warlock. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, all right. Just trying to spread that positivity. And like you said, trying to get out of that bubble, like the COVID thing really affected some people in my family. And like, I can't deal with it. Like, I'm not going to worry about COVID. Like, I'm not saying that it's not real or disrespecting anybody that's passed away from it, but I'm just really trying to live my life. That's where I'm at. And I think we all need to live life.
It's about managing fear, because we're not going to get rid of it. It's got to be managed. And so whether it's COVID, whether it's, a fear of heights or whatever it may be, a fear of public speaking, you have to get through your fears if you're wanting to be everything that you can be. It's about a fear management process. And I think that we just lost that completely over the last couple of years as a society.
We have, man. It's sad. It really bothers me a lot for my kids. And like, I'm really trying to push that positive focus on them. I really try not to talk about politics in my home. Those kind of things for me. Some people would say that I'm crazy for that. But man, I'm just trying to focus on the good things, focus on putting your energy into things that are going to be positive and going to make you have a better quality of life.
Yeah. All right, let's take a few moments here just to finish up. I'm going to rapid fire some questions at you. Right. You have to give me health and fitness advice. What's the best health and fitness advice you can come up with right now?
Health and fitness advice is going to be good sleep, drink a lot of water, eat healthy. Those are the big things for me right now versus I haven't had a lot of time to get in the gym. I'll be honest. I'm not really interested in the gym anymore. So I try to walk. I try to run as much as I can. I ride a mountain bike like you a lot. I try to stay active in these race cars. Yeah. So the gym life just really isn't for me anymore. I just try to stay like, I really respect what you do. And I try to keep that fit, active lifestyle going. And I keep it going for my kids. I try to keep it going for my wife, all those things. And yeah, so that's
my thoughts on the gym are, I think we live really stressful lives nowadays. A lot of us do. We're busy, we've got things going on. And, we've talked about that management of energy, but then it's like the gym, if it's adding stress to more stress, it's not helping. That's
right.
not going to help anybody, And so I think that was what was happening for a lot of people in the last decade or so, is that we felt that the gym was the right way to go, that, adding that stress would take some of the stress away. And I think short term it does, but then long term, I think we're left buried. That's what I kind of felt happened to me, at least.
Yeah, I just got so like suffocated by it. I was like, I have to go. I have to do this workout. I have to beat this guy's time. I have to do this. And I got to the point where I'm approaching 40 years old now, be 38. And I'm like, dude, I just want to live a healthy lifestyle. I want to be outside, breathing good air. I want to be on my bike, jumping over rocks. I want to be running down the street next to a lake. I want to be, while I'm doing it, I want to be outside enjoying life, not inside of a box.
You want to feel good, not like rolled up in a ball in a corner, sweating and convulsing because you just did 100 power cleans.
Right. Which that was fun, but
it served its purpose.
At 37 years old, though, I'm like, I'm going to hurt myself now. So, and I actually, you'll probably appreciate this, but like when I was doing a lot of the CrossFit, dude, I was sick all the time. And I think it's because I was using so much energy on top of the stress that I have in my everyday life that I wasn't giving myself time to build myself back up. I was beating myself down all the time.
Yeah.
It's messed up because now I don't do it. Like, yeah, I don't look as good as I did, but I feel strong. I feel good. And man, I haven't been sick once this year, knock on wood. I take a lot of vitamin D. I try to drink, healthy juices, things like that. I don't drink as much soda as I used to. You remember, I used to drink a lot of soda, and I quit. That sugar and stuff.
It's really poison.
It is poison. It really is, man. I got guys I work with that drink 5 Monsters a day. I'm like, dude,
oh, brutal.
I'm like, you're killing yourself. Guys that are me and yours age that are having heart problems. And I'm like, holy cow, man. Like, how do you not notice that? It's crazy.
All right, next question. What's a skill that you have that's not affiliated with racing at all?
Skill that I have is probably the gift of gab. Good at talking to people, good at selling things, good at networking. I would say that's probably a positive vibe where like, I'm good. I'm pretty handy. Like I could rebuild a lawnmower. I could do things like that, without instructions. I could just do it.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. And then, I guess the last question, what's that? No, I got one more before that. How many speeding tickets did you get last year?
0.
Really?
0.
That's probably because of that gift of gab, right?
Yeah. No, I never got pulled over, believe it or not.
Never even pulled over. Amazing.
I don't drive fast on the streets because I think I get it all out on the track.
Nice.
Yeah. I drive kind of like a grandpa on the streets. Just calm, cool, collected. Man, my plates aren't even up to date. So what the messed up part about that is I have the tags I paid for my personal property, but they're in my glove box. And like, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll put those on tomorrow. Like I had a cop behind me today and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get pulled over. It didn't bother me. So
nice.
Whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, more importantly then, what's on the horizon for Kyle Steffens Motorsports?
I'm going to say that there's a lot of positive things on the horizon. I'm going to focus more like on this car behind me, this open wheel car that runs with the United States Auto Club, really prestigious group. A lot of the drivers in there all go to NASCAR, younger guys. I'm not saying that's where I'm going, but I want to be racing with professional drivers. We're going to race 7 dirt races from Pennsylvania to Indiana to Illinois, Ohio. So we're going to do, and those are all 100-mile dirt races or big, long event races. So that's pretty cool. And then my other cars, we're going to run called dirt modifieds. We're going to race those hopefully about 40 times this year, depending on how my home life's going and all that. And then, I'm just going to keep getting after it. I'm trying to get my kid to the track at least 15 races this year in his own car. My dad's going to help me with that so he can kind of keep honing his skills and building where he's at. we're just going to work at it as a team. We're going to keep trying to push together as a team and help, grow our business, grow the racing, keep it all going. That's the big thing. Keep the ball rolling.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the
Warlock.
goal. Warlock, baby.
Nonstop, dude. Going. Yeah,
Dude,
that's great, man.
Be 38 this year, and I still got more energy than when I was 19, I feel like. So just still ripping. Just that's it, man. Like I
believe energy feeds energy too. That, like I said, if you haven't been moving for the last day, you're going to feel like a slug. But yet, if you can stay in rhythm, if you can keep moving, if you can keep routine and keep your balance, then, I feel the same way. I look around and sometimes I don't like to judge, but I feel like people our age are just letting themselves go so early. Like, man, we're only late 30s. And I know that may seem old or young to some people, depending on who's listening, but it's like, we are only late 30s. We have so much life and vitality left.
Dude, we got 50 plus years left in us if we keep living.
If modern medicine doesn't do anything crazy, like they're talking about our lifespans being 120 years old. It's me too, and I hear that scares some people, and it's like, dude, that excites me. Like, imagine what we could be doing if we're able to move and be able-bodied at 95 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And like, for me, like things that I learned from you. Yeah, I mean, you helped me a lot in my mid-20s through the physical thing, but like, I just always learned was like, keep moving, try to eat healthy in moderation. Just the big thing is like staying positive, eating well, all those things, and everything will kind of keep clicking, and thank God that I haven't got sick or anything like that. Everything's still rolling good. My family's healthy. We just try to live life a clean way and in a positive way. And I really think positivity feeds back into your health. If you're living around a bunch of negative people, man, it can really just eat you alive. So.
Yeah, I believe that as well. The what you consume and even the conversations and the people you surround yourself with, you're consuming them to some degree. Their words, their thoughts, their actions. And if you have to interpret that, you're having to consume them. And if they're negative, you're consuming negative stuff. It's no different than a soda. You're drinking down garbage and you're going to feel that. And that's right. If you can become in tune to that, which it sounds like you have, which is awesome for you and your team. I know in the short term, it's probably rough, as you're trying to sort things out, but it's like, sometimes that's what it takes. You got to take a step backwards to go forwards.
It's tough, man. Like the Dome was just a hodgepodge of just chaos. And like a couple of the guys that I've had for years, and I love those guys, but it was just like, everybody wasn't clicking. Everything wasn't going together. So I was just kind of like, all right, we need to reset. So I'm not saying that I won't ever work with them again, but like right now I just need to kind of separate, and I need to figure out what Kyle wants to do and what kind of energy Kyle wants for the team that my dad and I have built. We've put our life and soul into all this stuff. And I want to go to the track and have a good time and have success. I don't want to go there and have partial success and have people beat me up over stuff. I don't need that. You know what I mean? So
totally.
Yeah. You gotta have that team that's around you. And I've got a bunch of great guys that still help me and that are going to help me. But we just got to keep the synergies flowing upwards, not back down into the black hole. So
yeah, I read you loud and clear. Obviously a lot easier said than done, but
tough in today's society. It's tough.
No, I wish you the best of luck though with it all. And
I appreciate
just from my point of view, I've always respected you ever since that we met, ever since in the old days in the gym. Yeah. And
likewise.
That's what I enjoy. Thank you. I enjoy watching you race too. And so I'm looking forward to seeing where you go. I've always talked your name up. My family is dirt track fans up in Michigan. And so I tell them that I got a local guy here that I go and watch, and my kids, they've also, come to, see you as a winner. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation, because I've been trying to seek out who's winning these days. And I don't mean just taking first place, and I don't mean, just certain accolades. It's kind of, a philosophy, like who's winning in life. And it's that, I think it's very similar to your Warlock philosophy, and it's just who's taking on what needs to be taken on and getting into the arena. And there's just something respectful about that act and putting yourself on the line. And obviously you're doing that each summer and obviously in the off season. And it's a hell of a thing to watch. And so I want you to know that I respect you a lot, and your competitiveness and your winning vibe.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because you don't hear that often, and you get kind of lost in the crosshairs of everything, and you get into the daily life and you think, why am I doing this? You know, why do I do this? But then you hear stuff like that, or like you go to a race and you get back in that car and you strap in, like going to the dome behind 40,000 people, and you walk out of that tunnel and people are screaming Warlock and this and that. And you're like, all right. And it's like you said, it's not about the winning. It's not about the racing. It's more so about living the life. And like the day when I do die or go away, I want people to say that was a bad motherfucker. I want people to say that guy, he worked hard, and he worked hard for his family, and he lived his dream. So like that stuff, I'm very passionate about that. I think it's important. I think living a life, a lot of people just live through the motions. And I was once in that spot where I was living in the motions, and I'm never going to live in the motions ever again. No shot. So
I've been there myself too. And I've made myself that same promise. I can relate wholeheartedly to what you just said. And I love it. I love every word of it.
I think it's awesome what you're doing, man. You guys got the van. I saw like a few months ago, someone stole your van. I was like, dude, it bummed me out for you. And you guys, because like I knew that's like what you guys were putting your energy into, was like traveling, being outside, living in the moment. Like that to me is cool, because like I'm doing that with my racing. Like I'm getting that windshield time. I'm getting to see the world. I'm not sitting behind a cubicle all day saying, oh, Joe Blow is getting to do this, why can't I? It's like, no, I'm gonna do it. Like, let's do it. You know,
find a way to make it happen. Yeah, it was rough, you know, and thank God I'm sitting in it right now. We got the van back, obviously. Couple 3 weeks, and the cops found it, but it made me take a couple steps back and actually figuring out what defined me, though, you know. And it's like, man, if my van and my mountain bikes can get taken, and now I feel like my whole soul got taken, what do I have? You know, what am I leaving behind when this is all said and done? And it made me take a big audit of myself and just kind of be like, what am I doing? Where am I going? And not that I don't want to keep traveling in my van and keep mountain biking, because I do, you know, but it's like, maybe there's things beyond that, or maybe that's just a tool to get me to, like you said, you know, maybe what if racing for you in that race car is just a tool to get you to feel that feeling as you walked out there with 40,000 people screaming and flames behind you, you know, like what if everything that you did was just a tool to get to that moment, you know, that's the way I started looking at it. And you know, I know it's deep. I like to get deep like that.
Nah, it's cool. I'm the same way. That's why you and I always got along, because I know you're passionate, man. I don't want to deal with people that are just him haul. Like I'm like, no, I'm good. You know, and I don't want
that lukewarm shit I'll spit that right out.
Yeah, and I hate people that are coattail riders. And I've like, as you know, like when you become more successful or things become good, so many people like want to jump on the coattails and be your buddy, but then talk shit behind your back. There's been a few people that have happened to me with that. And I'm like, no, I don't got time for that. You know?
Right.
No,
I feel like Shaq in that one meme. You got to bust those people right off.
Oh yeah. You're like, dude, see you later. And like, I can pick them out now. I see them coming from a mile away, and I'm like, no,
Isn't
man.
That cool? How you can become in tune to it. You know, it's sad, you know, you get frustrated and you don't want to judge people as easy as what it can be. But sometimes it's like, I smell what you're cooking and I don't like it. So,
yeah, dude,
it's nice to be able to escape those things before you taste it.
Yeah, the worst is when you let them in, and then all of a sudden they become a toxin, and you're like, ooh. So it starts to slow your program down. But man, I just keep a small circle now, real small, and I try to keep it as small as I can, and people that I trust, people that I love, and that's basically it. You know, and it kind of sucks to live that way, but that's how you got to be. That's how you got to be.
Yeah, I think it takes that at times. I think there's a growth and a recondensing a little bit that has to happen as you expand and you grow. You're going to gather some people, you're going to attract people, and then you need to burn it off and come back to what matters, and then grow from that and just kind of keep that expansion process. But expect that there needs to be a regression too. Yeah, and I feel like that's what you said with your crew, that you kind of had to go through a rebirthing process almost.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it's an interesting journey, no doubt. And I'm thankful for it. And you know, for this year, that's where my sights are set. And then the next year, maybe racing may slow down and maybe time to help both my boys go racing, you know, and I see you doing that with wrestling, and that's really cool, man. Like, that's just like, that's gotta be an awesome feeling to watch your son out there at the same places you wrestled and the things that you did with some of the coaches that you were around. It's like a blast from the past, you know. It's weird, right? You know.
Yeah, and it's funny how there's just so much of an urge, unless you're like a sicko, I think, as a father, to pass that on. You must be a deranged individual if you don't want to pass that on to your kid. You know, what you feel you are about, what you feel matters most, what brings you the most meaning in life. And to me, it was obviously wrestling was a huge part of my life. And for you, racing, to be able to share that with the next generation, our generation, you know, our seed, it's priceless. You know, and I wish, and I talk to a lot of dads, and I see a lot of dads, and I wish I could just convey that message to every dad out there that, you know, when you can tap into that and you can keep that relationship with your son, you know, pristine and clean. I miss your ass, dude.
I miss you too, man. Let's get together. I like having these positive chats. It's like, it's good. It's a good thing, you know.
I think it's needed. That's why I'm really pushing the issue. So I want to do more of it myself, and we'll catch up again. But hopefully we can catch up in person next time.
All right, sounds good, man. I appreciate it. Let me know on this podcast too. I'd like to sit back and listen to it again. So
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna put together. I'll re-edit some good clips, and I want it to be pretty authentic.